This segment of Delmarva Life is brought to you by Delmarva Dental Services.
We're always told to drink water and plenty of it, and it seems like Americans have taken note. Research from the International Bottled Water Association shows in 2012 we consumed nearly 10 billion gallons of bottled water. That's up from just over 9 billion in 2011. Now, to break it down a little bit more, the association reports every person drinks an average of nearly 31 gallons of bottled water. By the way, sales of bottled water total nearly $12 billion.
Think of water as the natural fuel that keeps your body going. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, it can help keep your temperature normal. It lubricates and cushions your joints. Water also protects your spinal cord and gets rid of waste through normal body functions. That's just touching on the health impact. Of course, we all know that water can help you lose weight.
But before that water enters your body and starts going to work, it has to pass through your mouth. Did you ever think it can have an impact on your teeth? And might I add, certain types of water may not be as beneficial as you might think.
So joining us today to tell us more is Dr. Joseph Harmon with Delmarva Dental Services in Salisbury. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks, Jimmy and Lisa, for having me.
So, the average person drinks 167 bottles of water a year.
Yeah.
And it can come from various places.
Yes. Bottled water can actually come from the municipal system. In other words, it can come from the city wherever it's bottled.
Right.
It can come from, actually, it's called spring water, but spring water, anything that's drilled from a well can be called spring water.
Okay.
So an aquifer would be like a lake underneath the ground.
Right.
So anything that comes from that, and most of your so-called spring waters come from aquifers. And so those are the main places they come from, those two sources.
And I did not know this, but water can actually have an impact on your teeth. How is that?
Well, we've been harping for years about soda and the acidity in soda and energy drinks and also in sports drinks, but some of these waters are just as acidic as those drinks.
Okay, so pH is something that is part of it, right?
Yeah, pH, you have when you understand pH, pH is 7 is neutral. Battery acid would be anything less than 7 is acidic, anything more than 7 is basic. Battery acid would be a 0, sodium bicarbonate base, baking soda would be an 8, stomach acid is a 1 or 2, vinegar is a 2.2. Sodas are usually around 3. And some of these, and for instance, wine and beer may be a 5, and wine, but these waters, a lot of them are close to sodas. They're 3s and 4s.
Okay, so acid is bad for your teeth.
Yeah, what happens is your enamel dissolves at a pH of 5.5.
Oh.
So anything less than 5.5 will dissolve your tooth enamel. Now your saliva will neutralize that acid, but if you continuously sip, you never give your saliva a chance to neutralize the acid. Now, most people understand they're not supposed to sip soda, but people think it's okay to sip water.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they think it's harmless, but it's almost the same as, some of these water are almost the same as sipping soda.
And that's getting us back to bottled water. It's acidic, if some of it is?
Yeah, well, it comes from, what happens is, especially the waters that come from a municipal system, they filter the water and they do something called reverse osmosis. Now, reverse osmosis, if you think of, anytime you think of filtering, think of like a screen, or think of when you do spaghetti in a colander and you put the spaghetti in and the water goes through. Well, the spaghetti doesn't go through. Think of a gold miner who's sifting for the gold in a screen. Well, these are fine mesh screens. And what they do is they take out particles. Well, one of the particles they take out is bicarbonate, and bicarbonate makes things basic. So what they're doing is they're taking out something that makes it basic and make it more acidic by reverse osmosis. So all the reverse osmosis systems will make things more acidic. And most of these waters have reverse osmosis. Now, some waters will actually add bicarbonate back to make it basic, but not all of them do reverse osmosis. Some don't.
So the water can be just as bad as soda or other
yes. Oh yes, oh yes.
And can you know by looking at the label whether or not?
No, you can't. In fact, researching the water source, trying to find a water source and trying to find pH is almost as hard as trying to find Kentucky Fried Chicken recipe. It is very complicated. I spent a long time trying to research it, and they try to keep it hidden. They don't want to know where it comes from. They don't want to let you know that it comes from a well. They want to make you think it comes from the spring, and if it comes from the city, they don't want you to know that. And the pH is hitting, but you can find it, and I actually made a table on our website, Delmarva Dental Services, of the various pHs, and what we recommend and what we don't recommend.
Okay, so what's the solution? You don't want us to stop drinking bottled
water.
water,
Water's good. The solution basically is don't sip. And that's true with the only thing you can sip is normal pH, like regular tap water, or water that has a good pH that's like 7 or 8. But you shouldn't sip anything acidic, and that's true. And when I say sip, don't sip it for an hour and then open your another bottle and sip it for an hour.
Right.
You have to give your saliva a chance to neutralize the acid, and that's true with sodas, wine, energy drinks, bottled water.
Everything in moderation.
Pretty much. Yeah.
All right, Dr. Harmon, thank you so
You're welcome.
much. That was so informative. And to read more from Delmarva Dental Services or for a list of pH in certain beverages, go to WBOC.com, click on our picture at the top of the page. Well, one thing you are going to want to put in your mouth, in moderation, of course, are the ghoulish goodies we're making in the Delmarva Life Kitchen today.
Moderation might be a problem. Anyway, up next, our menu consists of mummy marshmallow treats and zombie eyes.
But first, we just learned about the impact certain water can have on our teeth. Dr. Oz has some tips now for a healthy smile.
Hi, I'm Dr. Oz. Is your toothbrushing doing you more harm than good? Don't make these mistakes. Brushing too hard can lead to gum irritation and even wear down enamel. Stick to gentle brushing twice a day. Don't brush right after eating, especially if you've had wine or an acidic meal. Wait 30 minutes to avoid damaging enamel.